More Lord of the Rings movies? Seriously? Oh, let's talk about this. Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. Yes, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. This is a live news show for movie fans. What's on today's slate here? We got some Thunderbolts casting, the Batman 2 production start date, maybe, the Flash screenings, and Cocaine Bear opens up this weekend. But we start off today's show by talking about that Lord of the Rings headline that everybody's going to be talking about for sure. Well, it's being reported across all the trades. New Lord of the Rings movies in the works at Warner Bros. A new line because, the rights for the movies were bought by Warner's, right? So it's about rights issues, right? Now, what you need to know about this is that it's not going to be connected to the Rings of Power or anything like that. It's just for the movies. Amazon bought the rights for the TV rights. So they can make TV stuff, but Amazon can't make movie stuff. It's really weird. And I don't know if people are going to quite understand that right up out of the gate. But new Lord of the Rings movies, okay. I got the impression from reading these articles, though, that they have no interest of revisiting these characters like Frodo and our fellowship there. Like, they're not going to reboot them. They will tell stories that'll happen adjacent to them. It'll happen in like the same kind of timeline, perhaps, but they won't recast those characters, which, for me, by the sounds of it, maybe open the door for them to return in some capacity, like maybe in a cutscene or something. Just in passing, they'll walk by one of them and be like, "Ooh, that's cool." That's how you do fan service, right? So what really happened here? Embracer Group, the Swedish gaming company, acquired the rights to produce Lord of the Rings films, games, and merchandise, theme park attractions, and live productions when it purchased the rights holder to Middle-earth Enterprises last year from Saul Zaent's company. So that's just the business side of stuff. And Zaslav seeks to assure Wall Street that Warner's is very much the franchise game. Yeah, we heard about that, Zaslav. So, yeah, this will fall under WB, because it's Warner's, right? And that's Zaslav, the guy who's put James Gunn in charge of the DC universe. Barford to hop in the live chat says, hey, how's it going? We're just talking about this headline for Lord of the Rings. Trying to get some information on it. We heard that press release there that Zaslav wants to go back to franchises and stuff like that. In a statement, Jackson and his Lord of the Rings partners, Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, noted that they were aware of the latest development. Yeah, there's an article up on that too. I think that was up on Deadline, had one there, right? Encouraging words from Peter Jackson and co-writers Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, given reason to guardedly excited about Zaslav's WB new line, Lord of the Rings reveals. So, yeah, they won because of Return of the King and stuff like that. So, people are just kind of like, well, I think the initial response to the news was kind of like, cool, more Lord of the Rings. Wait, don't step on my beloved franchise. I don't think they will. It's safe. As I said, all the big trades are running with this. Like, this is on Variety, right? Variety, Deadline, THR is all reporting this stuff. So it just makes sense, right? That Lord of the Rings is a huge franchise. And say what you will about the Rings of Power. We watched it all here on this channel, by the way, and I liked it. I like the characters. Galadriel really worked for me in that series. I know it didn't work for a lot of people because it didn't really follow the books. But guess what? Neither did Peter Jackson and that crew when they were adapting it for the movies, right? They changed a lot. And fans seemed to be okay with that. So I was kind of like, well, I like the Rings of Power. But it's not going to be connected in whatsoever, right? The Rings of Power is not going to ever lead to a movie. It's always going to be Amazon's property just to make TV and series out of. So they will not be connected. They could maybe probably reference, but I don't think you'll actually see a character from like the Amazon series the in these new upcoming movies. I just don't see it happening. It doesn't make sense, right? Um, so in their statement there, they said, "We understand how cherished these works are, and working together with our partners at New Line, Warner Bros., we have planned to honor the past, look to the future, and adhere to the strongest level of quality production values," said Lee Ginchard, CEO of Free Mode, which is part of Embracer, the new company that bought it. Okay, and yeah, it's 20 years ago. Like the Fellowship came out in 2001, right? So Return of the King was 2003. So yeah, 20 years. 20 years. Like how long would you have to wait for a reboot? I would say longer than 20, but that's just me. I don't think that it's that big of a deal. Um, ooh, ooh, yeah, there we go. Is that a little bit better? No, yes. Ah, the hell with it. um, you know what I'm talking about. Bye for in the live chat there. Let me pull up the old live chat, activate it. Hit this button. There we go. It says, hey, Megan Unrated dropped today. Yes, this is when the Unrated got dropped on Peacock, which is something that I do not have. So what do you guys think about this Lord of the Rings headline? Is that something that you want to check out? Is it something that you want to see? Who would you like to see direct? Would a Guillermo Del Toro be up there for a lot of people to see a Guillermo Del Toro Lord of the Rings movie? I think because he was at one time attached to it, Do the Hobbit, a lot of people would like to see Guillermo del Toro step into those shoes and direct a Lord of the Rings movie. That would be kind of cool, right? I just don't know what lore they would pull from because they pulled pretty much everything from the books so far, right? They would just have to create new stuff with new writers, hopefully paying respects to the source material. That's the way it would go. And if not, it's just so grand, right? Middle Earth is so grand. We know so much more, and there's a lot of stuff. I learned that even from like uh, people who didn't like Rings of Power, that because they said they didn't like the lore, it wasn't paying respects to it. Then perhaps new movies could go back and pay respects to that lore that people got so offended over. But Guillermo del Toro, I think, would be a cool person to see take on that franchise for sure. Artglass says, I'm cool with more Lord of the Rings universe. The cast will be interesting to sell the audience. Yeah, the cast. And it really depends on where they're going to go with it, right? So, yeah. Talking about Guillermo del Toro, let's get into this headline here. Guillermo del Toro developing stop motion animation for The Buried Giant for Netflix. Yes, The Buried Giant. So he did Pinocchio for Netflix last year, one of my favorite movies of last year. I thought it was fairly good, and Guillermo del Toro is probably going to win an Oscar for that. So hey, he just said um, that the BAFTAs. Del Toro said that in his acceptance speech that um, animation is just another art form to tell stories, right? It's just not for kids. You can use it for other things. So I don't know anything about this property, The Buried Giant, but if it's going to be in that same style as Pinocchio, that's cool. Obviously, if it's stop motion, it's going to take a couple of years for them to put together, but it seems like if it's got a story, Del Toro will direct and produce The Buried Giant from a script that he has co-written with Matilda, the musical scribe, Dennis Kelly. He is reteaming with his Pinocchio stop motion animation studio, Shadow Machine. So it's the same studio that did it for Pinocchio is going to be doing this one called The Buried Giant. Buried Giant follows an elderly Breton couple, Axel and Beatrice, living in a fictional post-Arthurian England in which no one is able to retain long-term memories. Wow. Not able to form long-term memories. That's fascinating. Interesting subject. Are you guys familiar with the source material? Guillermo del Toro, back at it. Hey, the more the merrier, I say. That's just cool in my books. Hey, Weaver in the live chat says, hey guys. Hey, Weaver, how's it going? Yeah, Del Toro. Hey, always good in my books. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Let me just get set up for my review here. Now, guys, this will be a spoiler-free review for Cocaine Bear. I'm not going to talk any spoilers or anything. This isn't one of those movies where you need to talk about spoilers or anything like that. Well, I'll maybe address it tomorrow on our horror roundup show. We'll talk about some of the kills, maybe. I don't know. It's just one of those things, and yeah, I don't know if we really need to. All right, let's make sure that my screens are all set up here on the side. Reload that, and it looks like we are ready to rock and roll. Okay, so this will be cut out later and put up on the channel. So hopefully, if you guys haven't seen it, don't worry. I'm not going to spoil anything. Let's get into this. Cocaine Bear. Okay. Cocaine Bear opens up this weekend, guys, and here is my review. What did I think about it? I thought it was pretty fun at the theaters, pretty entertaining, as I said in my initial reaction. So, Cocaine Bear, what is it? It's about a bear that gets into some cocaine in the woods. So, an oddball group of cops, criminals, tourists, and teenage converge on a Georgia forest where a huge black bear goes on a murderous rampage after unintentionally ingesting some cocaine. Yeah, so we saw from the trailers that, yeah, this drug dealer drops his shipment over the forest, and then the bear gets into it, and it's based on a real event. It really did happen. Not quite as gruesome as what this movie is, because the brutality in this, I didn't highlight this in my straight out of the theater reaction. There is some brutal kills in this. It does get bloody and gory at points. Kerry Russell's in this, Alden Ehrenreich, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ray Liotta. Now, this is not Ray Liotta's last film. He's got a few more in the can that are still going to come out. But it did pay a nice little tribute to him at the end there, saying rest in peace for Ray Liotta, who passed on like last year. And it was kind of a little bit of a somber kind of, yeah, oh yeah, I forgot that he's gone now. But the CG bear in this worked. And they had to take it that route. Now, some of the criticisms I've seen coming out of this was that it was too long. I don't think so, guys. As I said, it's an hour and 35 minutes, so it runs pretty fast. Some people were complaining that it was boring because it does try to bring in some family elements. I mean, Kerry Russell's out looking for her daughter that skipped school in the woods, and that's how that story comes in, right? And of course, then the drug dealer who dropped the stuff is out there looking for his stuff to try to get it back, and the bear just wreaks havoc, right? And there's a forest ranger plot line and stuff in there that some people will say, well, just get to the killing and stuff like that. Some people may say that it's like a one-note kind of gag, that this bear is all hyped up and stuff like that. But the director, Elizabeth Banks, I felt like she did a good job with this. She also did things like that Charlie's Angels reboot and Pitch Perfect 2, right? So I think this is a step in the right direction for her, coming together. As I said, coming out, try to watch this in a full theater, guys. Watch it with other people, because there's going to be things in there that people will be laughing at the same time. People will be going, oh, when like the gore stuff happens, like arms being bitten off and stuff like that. Oh, that ambulance scene that you see in the trailers is, yeah, it does pay off, though. It does pay off. So those moments I definitely say are worth checking out. It's not going to be like an epic kind of thing that you'd be like, oh, you got to see it because of the story and stuff like that. No, that's not like that. It's schlock, right? Let's go over the tomato meter and see what people are saying. Ooh, 72% by the critics, 82% by the audience as of 11:15 on Friday morning. And I'm sure that these numbers will be adjusted a little bit more as things come in, because as of yesterday, I think Cocaine Bear was like 100% or something. Yeah, it's going to come down. People are going to realize it for what it is. CGI bear, it worked for me, though. You know, I was a little bit scared that it may look a little bit bad, but yeah, Kerry Russell, we don't see enough of her. We don't. Let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews. from Empire Magazine, who didn't like it, says it's a great premise, but overpopulated by dull characters, and a flat feet cocaine bear is sadly a party animal that never gets started. Not quite a Coke Zero, but close. What? So he's trying to be charming with that analysis that I don't appreciate, but whatever. Okay, next up is a good one that says Cocaine Bear does not try to sell itself as something that it is not. This is a bear. It is addicted to cocaine. It proceeds to kill several people. Gory, whacked out weirdness transpires over an economical 95-minute runtime. That's it. That's the movie. Yeah, exactly. So if you know that going in, I mean, you're not going to get any kind of like revelation about how you feel about your family or stuff like that. Or they try a little bit on the edge to do surface level stuff like that. But it's like, you don't care about that stuff. And once O'Shea Jackson Jr. comes in and there's like a group of thugs in there that try to, it's just fun. So, guys, just to keep it simple and sweet here, I would say Cocaine Bear was fun at the theaters, and it's worth checking out based on that alone. Now, where do I rank it? I would probably say I sort of side with the critics there. I would say it's a 7, maybe 6.5. 7 would be generous out of 10. The audience is going to like it more because, as I said, those things that happen. Remember, most people go to a movie, they sit down with a big bag of popcorn, they watch the movie, they have a few laughs, and they get out of the theater, and then they totally forget about what they just saw. They don't care. They just move on to the next thing, right? Us movie fans, we sit down and we analyze it for structure and visual effects and stuff like that, and does it work? And it's kind of like, well, I don't really need to do that for this movie. It was just, I wasn't expecting it to be as gory as it was at points, and it worked. It did work at times. Like you could have seen that it could have very easily have turned into a full-blown horror movie, and seeing that come out of Elizabeth Banks, I felt was pretty cool. That was cool in my books. And as far as like the people that like the animal rights issues, people saying, well, you shouldn't do that for a real bear, or it was all CG, guys. And Elizabeth Banks was honored with a Barry Cast Award by PETA for Cocaine Bear because it praised its CGI efforts. You know, that's like the animal rights people. So they don't like it if you use an actual bear for this kind of stuff. You couldn't do it for what they were trying to pull off. And it's silly, yes, but I had fun with it. So, yeah, that's what I say. It's going to be one of my more favorite movies for February here in 2023. What do you guys think about it? Have you seen it? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Hit that thumbs up button, guys, and subscribe because you're watching Mirror Domains. All right. There we go. There. Whoops. Let me pull down this and pull up some chats from our live stream. A Weaver says, obviously the bear is a metaphor for addiction, guys. Jeez, yeah, yeah. No, they weren't trying to do anything like that. There was not a lot of subtext to Cocaine Bear. Did you know Cocaine Bear was filmed in Ireland? How about that, Art Glass? Was it? Was it seriously? Huh. I didn't feel like it. A lot of it did take place in the forest, but yeah. Yeah. That ambulance scene that's like the highlight of the movie. Yeah. And as I said, what I liked about it was that it was short. It was an hour and 35 minutes. And the stuff that they try to bring in with the family issues and stuff like that, that's just surface level stuff that you gotta have to get into so you can understand why some people have to be in the woods for the bear to kill, kind of thing, right? Yeah, County Wicklow is very forested and green. Really? I didn't know it was filmed there. Cool information, man. This is why we like to talk about these kinds of things on a live stream, because people get to contribute. And we can talk about length here, and just because later on today we're going to be watching We Have a Ghost, and I was looking at the IMDb, and I looked at the runtime, 2 hours and 6 minutes. What? This is a one-note gag film too. Why is this 2 hours? Why is We Have a Ghost 2 hours? It should be an hour and a half, just like Cocaine Bear. But it's a good point for me to bring up. What can you find here else on the channel? Well, if you go over to the community tab, you can find our weekly schedule posted up on Sundays. So you can see what everything coming up in the week that we do. And we do full series watch-alongs for things like The Last of Us. Starting in the next week or so, we'll be watching Mandalorian Season 3 here on the channel. We watch movies like The Woman King, Beautiful Creatures, Hellboy 2019. We just did The Fifth Element yesterday. We had lots of fun doing that. And it's a live stream, so you guys can come in and talk with us. Share your favorite parts of the film with me, and we'll talk about it for sure. Later on today, we will be watching We Have a Ghost. I'll keep my mind open, though. I hope it lands. It's going to be on Netflix. Last Saturday, we watched a horror movie, The Ninth Gate. And this week, the poll is up right now. For you guys to choose on the community tab for either Mama, 47 Meters Down Uncaged, or Freaky. And of course, we know that we do the Horror Weekly on Roundup, where we talk about the horror movie news headlines. And then Mondays and Fridays, we do movie news. So, just going over to that poll that I was talking about. Guys, it's very important that you go and vote in the polls, because sometimes things may change at the last minute. People are starting to vote in these things, like 30 votes there. Mama is slowly inching towards getting in the lead, and I'm going to make my thumbnails tonight for these two. I'm going to make it for Mama and Freaky, so I won't know until tomorrow, like around noon hour, what's going to win. Freaky was tied last week, and I'm thinking that we may have to do it anyway. If Mama ties it, then I'll decide with Freaky, but if Mama just somehow comes in the lead, then we'll watch Mama. All of these movies are somewhat trending, so we kind of have to check them out. So it's very important to go vote in the poll, because as I said, last week, Fifth Element pulled in the lead must have been like in the last 5 hours or something. Because the night before, 12 Monkeys was in the lead, and I got my thumbnails prepped for 12 Monkeys, thinking that we were going to watch 12 Monkeys yesterday. But then when I went on like at 9 o'clock in the morning, Fifth Element was like, it took the lead. So we watched Fifth Element yesterday. So go vote in the polls, guys. You'll always have the opportunity to interact with us here on the channel, Mirror Domains. And if you want to follow me on all the other social media, sometimes you get behind the scenes looks at me in the theater and stuff like that, going to watch movies and stuff like that. So it's a lot of cool stuff there on TikTok and Instagram. Okay, so A Weaver says, well, props to Banks for bringing it under the obligatory 3 hours. Yeah. Oh, cool. So they filmed it where the Viking series was filmed. Banks said the crew stayed in Donkley, I think. Okay. For Cocaine Bear, yeah. Beautiful location. Like it looked like it could have been in Georgia. I'm not too familiar with, like, depending on where you grow up, you just know what the woods look like, right? And you get familiar with that kind of stuff. I never grew up in Georgia, so I couldn't tell you that. If something was supposed to be filmed in the Yukon, then I could tell you if it was filmed there or not, just by the way that it looks. All right. Let's get back into the movie news headlines. Yeah. Okay, where are we at? The Flash. Some comic book headlines here. Okay, so The Flash is set to premiere at CinemaCon prior to its theatrical release. And yeah, we know from early buzz that The Flash is supposed to be a very good movie, and it's supposed to be like one of the best. So I'm hyped for this. Say what you will about Ezra. I'm not watching it for him. I'm watching it for Michael Keaton as Batman. That's it, straight up. I'm not watching it for him. So it's going to debut at this Comic-Con. So that's cool. And I'm going to be watching it for Sasha Calle as Supergirl. Uh, she really popped in that trailer, right? Um, and I had my doubts. But she won me over, and I want to see more of her for sure. So it's going to debut at this Comic Con, huh? CinemaCon, sorry, CinemaCon, before its theatrical release in June. So people will be there. April 24th to the 27th is when this convention takes place. So at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. The screening will be on April 25th. So expect around April 25th for us to get a little bit more reactions from this film. So CinemaCon gets our look at the Flash. And I think that'll just help build buzz. Not that it doesn't need it, but it's already got a lot of clout around it. Surprisingly, a lot more people are excited for this than Shazam 2. So that's good, because we did a story yesterday where Shazam 2 was just kind of like the box office numbers for that were not good, right? The marketing for Shazam 2 hasn't been all that great. Flash at CinemaCon, late April. Are you gonna? Yeah, if you get the chance in Vegas, go check it out, man. You might be able to get in and see a screening for that. That would be kind of cool, huh? That'd be kind of neat. Okay. The Batman 2. When the Batman 2 starts filming, reportedly revealed. The Batman Part 2, well, it's supposed to be out in 2025, right? So it's got to be coming, if not later this year, or really early next year, because I don't want it to get pushed. And I know Matt Reeves in the past says he really wants to take his time with the script, but no, man. The studio has to push the buttons here. You can't take 2 or 3 years to develop the script for a Batman 2. And in fact, I would even say that you should probably have like the script for Batman 3 lined up, if not the treatment for it. Because if Matt Reeves can't close this deal, I know people, the hardcore fans would love to say that we got to wait, let him take his time to make the story right. But we can't be sitting here for 2020 or even 2030 for Batman Part 3. We can't, even though that's kind of the direction that we're going, right? For this trilogy of films. We just can't. Because he's getting older, and he would probably want to move on to other projects and stuff. And the new DCU is going to really start to overshadow it if it lands, right? Because it'll be connected to the Justice League going forward. Not this Batman, but the new Batman that James Gunn is going to be doing. So, when does this article say that? When is this going to start filming? A new report revealed that it'll start filming soon. It says usually back. Okay. Well, principal photography is set to begin this November. Okay. So he's still got some generous time to tweak the script, to work on that script. That's a little bit longer than I wanted to, but it sort of makes sense if they start shooting it this November. Remember, the Batman, a lot of it was surprisingly shot on their version of the volume. A lot of them standing up in the towers and stuff like that was all volume. So they can shoot it on studios and stuff like that and have that mix of getting their outdoor shots like in the springtime. So November for the Batman 2 principal photography. That's good. That needs to happen. The same studio as they used to film the first one. Okay. So it makes sense for them to return there. So good. And as that starts to film, we will get little story tidbits to come out, like who's going to be the villain and stuff like that, who's going to be cast in it. That's good news for me. This November, the Batman 2 starts filming. I hope they hold true to that. I hope they do. Our glasses, perhaps they were ironically too many bears in forests of Georgia to film. They didn't want to disturb their habitat. Maybe. Switching gears here. let's go over to the MCU and talk about the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts casting news. Stephen Wen joins Marvel's Thunderbolts. The Oscar nominee will play the key role in the film. Key role, which focuses in on villains and anti-heroes. Will he be the bad guy, maybe? Could he be the big threat that the Thunderbolts are going to face? Yeah, because the Thunderbolts are the anti-heroes. They're kind of like the MCU version of the Suicide Squad, right? And we already know who's going to be in it. Florence Pugh, and it's going to be kind of like leading them, right? Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, David Harbour, Red Guardian, Wyatt Russell, Hannah John Kamen is going to be there as Ghost, Olga Kurylenko as Taskmaster, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Hey, anything more with Julia Louis-Dreyfus? Bring her on, because I really liked her in Wakanda Forever. That took me by surprise, seeing her in that. But Stephen Wen's top-tier talent joins the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts isn't slated for a while, guys. I think it's July 26, 2024, so next summer. Not this summer, next summer. So you think they would be filming it pretty soon here, right? It tells you a lot about the team who, when beloved Winter Soldier is most stable among them. Is the most stable. What? Winter Soldier is the most stable among them? I don't know. Still looking forward to it. And of course, what else was it? Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross is going to appear in this as well. So I don't know. Maybe we will get a Red Hulk. Maybe. I don't know. As more details come out, as I said, as they start productions, little details will trickle out, and we'll be talking about it for sure here on this channel. Hourglass says, at this rate, Pattinson will be unlikely for a trilogy. One can only hope. I hope so. I hope so. And as I said, that script, they should have at least a good idea of where they want to go with the third one. They should. And if Matt Reeves can't write it himself, get somebody else to write it, and then he'll have to approve it and make changes to it where he wants, right? You just got to get the ball rolling faster. It's hard to imagine Steven as a bald guy. As a bald guy. What? Why, did they reveal his character? A key role in the film as bald. Did I misread something in here? The former Walking Dead star has been cast in Thunderbolts. Yeah. His role is being kept under wraps, but it's said likely to be key. Okay, yeah. No, it didn't tease which role he's going to be playing, but I would guess maybe a villain of some sort. That would be cool, though, if he plays the big bad guy. Just don't waste his character, right? Yeah. Bad guy. Oh, you said bad guy, A. Weaver. Sorry. Not bald. Yeah, I misread it. Sorry. Hey, you know what? I do that from time to time. I am only human. We sometimes make mistakes here, but that's okay. Okay. What's next? Little Mermaid Backlash. Yeah, I don't see him as bald either. Talking about making mistakes. Halle Berry talks about the Little Mermaid's racist backlash as a black person you just expected. And guys, I like the little teasers that we've been getting about this. And when we actually get our first glimpse as Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, the little tease that we got in that spot last time, I think it's going to win people over. And I think Halle Bailey, she's going to knock it out of the park. I got the highest hopes for her, and I really want this to work out. But yeah, people got online and started attacking her and attacking the property because it's not like the authentic Disney version. It's like, what? It was a cartoon. Come on, guys. And it's not a situation where that shouldn't really matter anymore, right? Bailey said, I felt like God was lining up themes in my life with the character. Ariel has this longing for something more. She doesn't quite know what it is yet, but she has to be brave in order to find out on her own. Being away from everybody for the first time in my life, I really love these themes of knowing that it's okay to be fearful and pushing through it. Yeah. So, and there's a feel-good story about it too, right? I can't imagine. Just I don't even want to imagine being in that headset, that mind frame where you look up at this and there's like that visceral response in you that makes you want to attack. I don't get it. I don't understand. I can't fathom it. And as I said, I don't even want to try to get down to that level to understand it. Um, the teasers where you hear her singing, I think, yeah, gave me goosebumps the first time I heard it. So it's kind of like, I'm really excited for this, and I hope that it works. So she says, as a black woman, hair is spiritual, especially locks. Yeah, some people were complaining about her hair. It's like, whatever. It was really cool for them to make Ariel a version of me with my locks. I feel like that's what a mermaid hair would be anyway. Well, yeah. Well, we don't know what a mermaid's hair would be like because the mermaids don't exist. So yeah, and as a black person, you just expect it. It's not really a shock anymore. I know people are like, it's not about race, but now that I'm her, people don't understand that when you're black, there's this whole other community. It's so important for us to see ourselves. Yeah, and that I champion. I'm not black myself, so but I do. I am of a different ethnicity, so I kind of respect. It's kind of cool to see other people that look like me up on the big screen. I understand that. So, as I said, uh, backlash. I don't. People. If it's just growing pains as a society, right? Um, yeah. All right, let's move on to something that broke. And we'll talk about this a lot more tomorrow in the horror roundup show because it'll be more pertinent, right? HBO Max orders IT Prequel series. Welcome to Derry from Andy Muschietti, who directed the Flash movie, right? So just coming off the Flash, is he going to go back to the IT series? The streamer HBO Max has given a straight-to-series order for the new tale inspired by Stephen King's graphic novel. Welcome to Derry. Now, when this headline came out, I was like, um, that sounds familiar. Weren't we talking about this a while, like last year, that they were going to do a prequel series to this? So I had to go through some of the archives, and yeah, Variety, like November 9th, we were talking about this, right? Uh, It prequel series at HBO Max taps Jason Fuchs and Brad Caleb Kane to serve as showrunners for this. But the news today from HBO Max is greenlit this thing to make this happen. So, by the reports, it's Andy Muschietti, and Barbara Muschietti are going to be, well, at least Andy Muschietti is going to be coming back for this. He will direct multiple episodes of the series, including the first episode, the pilot, and the working title is Welcome to Derry. So that's cool. So he's going to be back in the helm dealing with this. Details is Bill Skarsgård going to come back as Pennywise? He could, because if it's a prequel, we know that the clown has been around for a while, so it's possible. I think it's got some potential here. Creative details are scarce, except that the series will be a prequel to the films and expand on the vision of the movies. Fuchs will write the first episode, which is based on a story by Muschietti and Fuchs. So the three of them are working on this. As teenagers, we took turns reading chapters of the book. So it's just their inspiration. They really enjoyed this story, right? It's an epic story that contains multitudes far beyond what we could explore in the movies. We can't wait to share the depths of Stephen's novel with all its heart, humor, and humanity to it. Yeah, there were parts that got cut. Like, it just, the book was like, what, over 1,000 pages? It was like huge, right? So I think it went into details that just couldn't translate that well, like with the turtle, right? And wasn't there like a long sequence of like a bar scene, like a bar where bad things happen and stuff like that. Um, I started the audiobook for it once, but my file got corrupted or something, and I just couldn't finish listening to it. Um, I need to go back and revisit that somehow. Yeah. So it won't deal with the main story that we know, but that's fine. A series, a prequel series for It. Welcome to Derry on HBO Max. What do you guys think about that? Sounds promising. Some people are threatened because they are insecure about themselves. Yeah, and it is sad, Weaver. Arglass says, I guess it's the thing people are conditioned to love, something in animation and prejudge their vision is altered. Yeah, tangible. Talking about the Little Mermaid there. And A Weaver says, cool, I adore all things Stephen King. Let's float. Yeah. Like they could go back and tell that story of him acquiring the clown visage, because he was something different before he got to the clown, right? Um, yeah. So cool. I'll dig more information up about that, and we'll talk about it tomorrow on the horror roundup show. Um, yeah, there's an extremely controversial scene in the book that can never be depicted. A Weaver says, "Well, yeah, that scene where Beverly gives herself, right, and that's putting it lightly. That scene is that the one? Yeah, Stephen King is like the movies just don't quite do justice as how weird his mind gets at times, right? Okay, Creed 3 opens up March 3rd, guys. So March 3rd is just around the corner. Next week. Next week. Yeah. So Creed 3 opens up next week. Next week we'll be talking about Creed 3 on this show, and early reviews are starting to trickle out. Creed 3 reviews. Adonis Creed is stronger on style than narrative sense. So this is Michael B. Jordan's first movie, right? His directorial debut. And Jonathan Majors plays the bad guy. So, well, not the bad guy, the villain, right? Look how oiled their muscles are. Okay. Stop that, James. I like the trailers for this, and I'm hyped for this Creed 3. I think that this one's going to deliver. Something about this one. I think a lot of it has to do with Jonathan Majors playing the bad guy, and just how ripped he got. So people are saying that they liked what they were seeing. I'm going to pull up Creed 3 on Rotten Tomatoes, see if it's got a score. I should have pulled that earlier to see if the critics, if the embargo is completely down, or if they've gotten full written reviews up, then it should possibly have some rating up there. 88%. So 88%, that's okay. As I said, I'm still hyped for this. Next week, guys, Creed 3. Some snapshot reviews, the playlist. But just as a great boxer can't pull the same trick over and over again, neither can a franchise. An issue previously the cause for the sleep drop-off in quality among the nonetheless lucrative Rocky sequels. And that's a positive review? Huh. The Daily Beast. No, I don't know if I want to read that. Huffington Post says, a fascinating film from a new director who seems unrated, who seems unafraid of moments of teary defeat that manifest into something far more introspective and self-nourishing. Even when that's between the brawny black men at odds with each other and themselves. What's with these weird responses, these weird quotes, man? The Independent UK says, can the Rocky franchise exist without Rocky? Creed 3 can finally actually answers that question at hand, and it's done with a film and an enthusiastic yes. Clarice says that. Okay, so here's a bad one. Creed 3 comes down to a draw between its flashes of brilliance and its missed opportunities. Okay, so a little bit of a swing and miss there for somebody. We'll keep our eye on this next week, guys. I just seen that a bunch of people, a lot of the press people have started to post their reviews for this. I think Jeremy Johns posted his review for this today too. I haven't watched it yet, but I am looking forward. March 1st or 3rd. So next week I'll be seeing it on the 2nd, right? I'll see it on the Thursday. Creed 3. We'll be checking that out for sure. Well, King was when he wrote it. Was that in that period? I remember him saying that a lot of his books in his earlier, like when he was doing all that stuff, and when he was fighting the bottle, some books he doesn't even remember writing. uh, yeah, I do like his work ethic though. Like, what is his work ethic? Try to write at least 6 pages a day of whatever. So he's always writing and he's honing his craft for sure. And he's a master. He is. Even if you don't like the way his prose comes off, right? His style, right? Whatever. Um, he's developed it, and I respect him for that. Okay. Let's talk about what's coming out this week. What's coming out in the theater this weekend? Because we look at the box office report from last week. It was a long weekend. So, will Cocaine Bear, the only movie really opening up this weekend? Actually, I think there's a few more, but they're not that wide known. Ant-Man and the Wasp had 120 million last week. Even if that's chopped down to like 60%, let's say Ant-Man and the Wasp gets down to about 45 to 50 million this weekend. Can Cocaine Bear beat that? I don't think so. So I think Ant-Man and the Wasp will be number one, and then Cocaine Bear will be number two. Because he says, you see, Avatar is like 8 million. And Avatar will finally, hopefully, get out of the top five. Hopefully it does. Opening up today, yeah, Cocaine Bear. So you're going to have your opportunities to go out and see that. And then there's like a religious movie, the Jesus Revolution. I don't know anything about that. To talk the brave beluga. Okay. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Hidden Blade, Mandarin. Yeah, there seem to be playing a lot more of Mandarin movies here, close to where I live. Magic Mike's Last Dance is still playing. Titanic's still playing for some reason. 80 for Brady, Knock at the Cabin, Man Called Otto. So really, no really big new releases there. But what's playing at my Cineplex? Yeah, Jesus Revolution. I don't know anything about. Might have to quickly check that up on the IMDb. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Cocaine Bear. Let's just take a look at Cocaine Bear for let's see what for the 7:30 showing. See if people are pre-bought any tickets. Yeah, starting to trickle in there for Cocaine Bear. See what the 10 p.m. show is. So yeah, people are starting to buy that. And I just got a notice for Shazam 2 from Cineplex saying that Jai Courtney is in this movie, Jesus Revolution. Kelsey Grammer. Oh, okay. I think I remember seeing this trailer. Yeah. Kelsey Grammer's like the priest or pastor or something of this church and tries to use like newer methods to bring in people, right? I might have to go check this one out. I like the trailers for this. The Jesus Revolution. Let me pull up the trailer for this and see if I can pull up the IMDb as well. It's just sometimes those religious movies, they wear it so much on their nose it can be kind of like off-putting, right? As long as it's not too over the top, like trying to cram it down my throat. A true story of the national spiritual awakening in the 1970s and its origins within a community of teenage hippies. That's right. He tries to recruit some hippies over to the word of God. Yeah, Kelsey Grammer. And Jai Courtney is going to be in this. Joel Courtney. Not Jai Courtney. Okay. I misread that. Geez, today's just kind of like all about misreading stuff. I don't get it. Oops. So, I'm not going to watch the full trailer here, guys. I'm just going to look at the snapshot based on a true story. Uses music in here and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Kelsey Grammer's the Jesus Revolution, huh? And then, of course, yeah, people in this community are like, you shouldn't be trying to get these hippies in there and stuff like that. Just kind of like what happened with the backlash to it, right? So it kind of deals with that. And if they keep that perspective on that, yeah, clean your glasses, James. Yeah, I need to, man. Well, hey, it's a live show, you know. Sometimes I misread it. But Joel Courtney. This trailer came out 3 months ago. So it's going to be resonating with people. Maybe I'll go see it on Sunday. And that'll be my way that I keep my respects. The Jesus Revolution. So that's the only other thing opening up this week, right? So, yeah. What is that playing? God, guys. Okay, let's just move this to Sunday and see what times it's playing. Yeah, look at all those show times for Ant-Man. So it's 1 p.m. Yeah, I can go 1 p.m. maybe on Sunday to see this. The Jesus Revolution's guitar lessons. What the heck is that? Cut Hawk the Blue Beluga. Blue Beluga. Rock the cabin, put some boots. What the heck is this guitar lessons? I play guitar. I don't even know what the heck some of these movies are. What is this playing? Guitar lessons. Did you see the Aftermath trailer about Waco, Texas? No, I didn't. What the heck is this? Leland Parento is a 15-year-old Métis boy in northern Canada. After inheriting a broken guitar from his father. So it's going to have people that look in like me. All right. $6 months ago. Fascinating. You stop right there, Mike. Okay, so it's going to have quirkiness to it. So he finds a guitar. Oh, I didn't switch over the audio. Yeah, you can tell he's got blood in him, right?
Indians, we have all the time.
That's what I'm going to call you. The stray dog that just keeps showing up.
Tim Hortons? That's at Tim Hortons, guys. That's where we get our coffee.
Esko, pegaske. Paga más coche, paga más coche, paga más coche.
I don't know what they were speaking their language. Right? Weird trailer. I'm curious about this though. Huh. Guitar lessons.
I think you're a keeper too.
I'm working on it.
Takes practice.
Takes practice.
It's like guitar lessons.
It's like guitar lessons.
Like guitar lessons.
Takes practice. Fascinating. And that's playing this weekend, huh? I might have to go check that one out. Maybe I'll take in a double feature on Sunday there and check both of those out. Guitar lessons and the Jesus Revolution. So those are some of your options. Where are we? 11:55. Let's go over to the old Twitter roundup, see if I missed anything. And if a trailer drops, guys, I'll do that. I'm trying a new format here on the channel. You might have seen my concept video of it yesterday, where there's like a split screen of two of me. I want to do it I want to do more of those, where I talk about it from different perspectives. Like there's I'll look at it from a positive way, and then I'll look at it from a negative way. Any kind of new movie news headlines, or maybe even entertainment headlines. I'll start doing more shorts like that, because this is an interesting idea that I like to do, and gets me back to the days when I used to film in front of like the green screen, right? That's what I want to get back into, right? Yeah. Oh, great, James. Just totally mess up your framing. Oh well. Let's go over to the Twitter and see what's going on. Yeah, because that's where I get into like my creative juices, and that's what keeps me going, right? Let's take a look. First trailer for Swarm. Yeah. Hey, we saw Swarm on the horror roundup, didn't we? When she's like standing over a bucket of blood and stuff. If that's the case, then we'll watch that trailer tomorrow on the roundup. 10 years ago today, Jennifer Lawrence fell on her way to accept the Oscar. Yeah, she falls upstairs quite a bit. But I like Jennifer Lawrence. I really do. Richard Curtis, Ticket to Paradise, revitalize rom-coms. Rom-coms? Ticket to Paradise? I actually like that movie with Julia Roberts and George Clooney. Okay. Happy birthday to Daniel Kaluuya. Well, happy birthday, dude. Hope you have a good one. And if I can get a copy of Nope, we'll be watching Nope here on this channel. I really do want to watch that one with you guys, because I know a lot of people will be kind of like, HBO's Succession is supposed to end after season 4. Yeah, we know that. I never watched Succession. I could, I suppose. I could be watching Euphoria as well. It's sitting there, and I've had Crave here for the last 2 months, and I just haven't keyed it up. Why is Elizabeth Olsen trending? I love Elizabeth Olsen. Why is she trending? Elizabeth Olsen on the future of the Scarlet Witch. If I were to tell you exactly what I would want, I think I would be spoiling something, because Kevin Feige asks us what we want to do, and then he just does it. So I don't know if I can share. I just want to come back, and I hope you come back too, because she was done dirty by Doctor Strange 2. She was done real dirty. She was going to be like my favorite Avenger, and they kind of like, I don't know what. I hope she comes back. I hope she comes back in Agatha, Coven of Chaos. We get to see like some more of her. Because Wanda, and the way she portrays her, we need more of that. We do. All right. Movies releasing in March: Creed 3, Scream 6, 65, Shazam, Operation Fortune. That was supposed to come out last year. Inside, Boston Strangler. That's on whatever. Murder Mystery 2. That's on Netflix. Dungeons and Dragons. Tetris. Luther. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming out in March. For sure. Betty Gilpin. I do like Betty Gilpin. There she is right there. And Jack Dorman, Mr. Davis, debuts April 20th. Black Mirror and True Romance. Follows a nun based on her beliefs and distrust of cheap magic. Decides to take down a benevolent algorithm that's taken over the world. Fascinating. We need more Betty Gilpin. She was the best part of watching The Hunt. Cocaine Bear, 89%. Is that what it was? 89%? No, it's 72%. As of now. Actually, if I refresh this, it may even go down, because we're getting closer to the noon hour here. Actually, we are getting at the noon hour. So, yeah, 72%. It'll go down a little bit. New Lord of the Rings movies. Yeah, we already talked about that. So, I think that's a good place to end it off there, guys, because it brought us full circle, right? Talking about new Lord of the Rings. And as I said, any new big news comes out and drops, we'll talk about it. I'll publish those shorts. I need to do more of those shorts. But join us in an hour, and we'll be watching We Have a Ghost on Netflix. Anthony Mackie taking on David Harbour as a ghost. I'm sort of not looking forward to it, but I'm going to watch it anyway, just because of that runtime. That runtime, 2 hours. I thought, can we please just have more 90-minute movies? Please, Hollywood, please. What's wrong with a 90-minute movie? Anyway, that's it for me today. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. Follow the playlist, and it's all up there for you guys. I'll see you next time. Succession would put me in a bad mood. Nasty people doing nasty things. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to watch Succession either. I get that. Hourglass says A. Weaver. Succession is surprisingly enjoyable. Part Shakespeare, part black satire. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Enjoy your weekend, guys, and I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains.